50? 40? 40?
Shall I start?
Yes, yes, yes.
From Delhi of this, under the heading Oral 55, serial number 1, BA number 1397 of 22.
Yes.
Number and petticoat may be stated at Baravan prayer.
Charge sheet submitted, Mr. Counsel, APP. Solely on a basis that the petitioner is wearing the same clothes, this petitioner has been implicated in this case. We heard the concept. Oh, sorry. No one appears on behalf of the petitioner. I have gone through the entire records. And yes, what do you have to say? Yes, what do you have to say? Allegation I have seen. What do you have to say? On what basis you have made him an accused? And heard the APP. Next paragraph. As per the prosecution case, the informant was robbed of his money by some unknown person. Full stop. The description of the apparels of the accused was given in the FIR. Next paragraph. The petitioner was arrested and is in custody since. From the record, I find that the petitioner is arrested and is in custody since 17/11/2021. Full stop. Charge sheet has already been submitted in this case. Full stop. From the impute order, I find that since the petitioner was wearing the same object, similar type of cloth, the petitioner, the prosecution has implicated the petitioner in the said case, in the aforesaid case. Further, it is the case of the prosecution that the petitioner has confessed his guilt. Full stop. Thus, the materials which have surfaced against the petitioner, that is his confessional statement and wearing similar type of apparel, is not sufficient to keep the petitioner in custody any further. 10,002 sureties with the condition he will appear before so and so once a month. Just write one line. After going through the record, I don't feel to keep this matter pending, waiting for appearance of the counsel of the petitioner. Yes, next.
BA number 2, BA number 2379 of 22, Mr. Manish Kumar for the petitioner.
Yes? Okay, what is the defect?
On the petitioner in a T form does not carry the due order, daily paragraph may be verified and corrected from India form. Daily certified will be type copy page number 17. All defects removed in hard copy.
All defects removed. Counsel for the petitioner submits that all defects have been removed in the hard copy which was filed. Yes, what is this? Case number. List this case along with BA number 2383 of 2022, in which case diary has already been called for.
BA number 3, BA number 2492 of 22, Mr. Abhi Shankar for the petitioner.
Being registered under section 12 of the Jharkhand Mobile Animal Prohibition of Slaughter Act.
Yes.
The FIR has been registered against the owner of a TVS moped vehicle. The petitioner is not the owner of the TVS moped vehicle. Charge sheet has been submitted. During investigation, it had come that the registered owner had transferred by way of an agreement
to this petitioner.
I have stated that I do not claim this motor
So, TVS moped.
TVS moped. I have page 24 of the review on registered that this moped belongs to this register.
Registered. Who is the registered owner?
Page 24.
Who is the registered owner? I am asking you.
It suggests that he is the owner, registered owner. He is the owner.
Was he arrested from the place of occurrence?
Yes. Only moped was seized. He was not arrested from. He was not. He was not arrested.
In a moped,
Moped was.
it is defense ignored. It is alleged that in a moped 30 kg of beef was, which is banned, which is prohibited, was being transported. Full stop. The locals intercepted the moped, but the rider fled. Next paragraph. Counsel for the petitioner submits that the petitioner was not arrested from the place of occurrence. What is the concept of immediate owner and a real owner in a motor vehicle act? He further submits that he is not the registered owner of the vehicle and the registered owner is someone else. Next paragraph. The APP opposes and submits that the vehicle was under the control of this petitioner, though he may not be a real owner. Next paragraph. Considering the fact that the petitioner was not apprehended from the spot and he is not the registered owner of the vehicle, I am inclined to release this petition.
Serial number 4, PA number 2531 of 22, Mr. Sudhanshu Jagat Chaudhary for the petitioner.
उसके पास से कहता है दिस इज मोबाइल रिकवर हुआ जो काम किया उसको
Give a copy to him. Just go through it, pass over. Go through it, tell me whether it is same or not.
Serial number 5, PA number 2532 of 22, Mr. A.K. Chaturvedi for petitioner.
Recovery of 1 kg 502 grams of diamond from stock of.
Why did you keep that with you? For selling or for your own consumption?
I am denying from the recovery, that will not be covered from our system.
That you will deny in trial. Just tell me one thing. You kept it for your own consumption or for selling?
As per the first information, what information
I am asking you.
Yes,
for selling?
Yes, as per the allegation, but I am denying from this.
Custody since?
Case custody is 31st of January 2020. They have filed the counter affidavit.
Any antecedent?
No antecedent.
बिजनेस स्टेटमेंट प्लॉट की जिसे ये अधिक मुनाफा कमाने के उद्देश्य से चोरी छिपा बेचने के लिए अपने दुकान पे रखे.
So this ganja 1.5 is?
Just give up the swap 20 kg is the commercial weight. 20 kg.
Because it is alleged that 1.502 1 point लिखिएगा 1 kg 502 grams लिखिए. Ganja was recovered from the shop of this petitioner. The counsel for the petitioner submits that the petitioner is in custody since 31st of January 2022 and has got no criminal antecedents. Next paragraph.
They have filed counter affidavit. They have not mentioned what
no criminal antecedent, as in the counter affidavit there is no whisper of any criminal antecedent of the petitioner. The APP submits that the petitioner was found in possession of ganja and but after going through the counter affidavit, submits that there is nothing on record to suggest that the petitioner has got any criminal antecedents.
This is a fact on your law, my submission is not that that illegal ganja which has been given with an intention to sell at the higher prices.
She submits that the ganja was stored for the purpose of selling at a higher price. Considering the quantity, and that is 1.502 kgs, and the material is ganja, I am inclined to release this petition.
Serial number 6, BA number 2533 of 22, Mr. Chandrajit Mukherjee.
Huh? Yes.
Also for the merit of the case is not that the first information report was regarding theft of cylinders fibers.
22 cylinders.
Name has transferred on the transaction and the person from whom the recovery has been granted.
Yes, not recovered from the possession of this petitioner. From the possession of this petitioner. Okay, 22 filled cylinders were stolen by some unknown thieves. The petitioner was apprehended on the basis of confessional statement of the co-accused, and admittedly the material were not recovered from the possession of this petitioner. First up, considering the aforesaid fact, 10,000 sureties.
Serial number 7, BA number 2534 of 22, Mr. Aman Shekhar for the petitioner.
Yes. Case diary antecedent. Huh? 6 months for this code, you know, from very beginning.
Serial number 8, BA number 2536 of 22.
There are some disadvantages also if the cases are listed immediately on filing. You face this disadvantage, you accept this disadvantage gracefully. Yes. Yes, what is the matter?
Accused person has been named in the file. It is not named in the file or taken from the basis of the confessional statement of the co-accused who has been already been granted bail and 2 by 1 more person have been granted.
Similarly, counsel for the petitioner submits custody. The counsel for the petitioner submits that the petitioner is not named in the FIR. It is submitted that there was firing and cross-firing between the police and the extremists. Any injury?
No injury.
But there was no injury from on the side of the police personnel. Full stop. He submits that his name transpired from the confessional statement of co-accused, and exactly similarly situated co-accused has been granted bail by P number so and so and so and so, Annexure 2 and Annexure 2I1. The APP opposes and submits that the petitioner is a member of an extremist group, but admits that the case of the petitioner stands on a similar footing with that of so and so. Considering the fact that similarly situated co-accused has been granted bail and the petitioner is in custody since so and so, 10,000 to surety once a month before the trial court appearance. One of the bailers should be close relative. Yes. Next.
Serial number 9, BA number 2537 of 22, Mr. Rajesh Kumar Singh.
Wait till the last case. Yes. Misuse of privilege of bail. 8 years. About 8 years. This is the case of misuse of the privilege of bail for 8 years. So this clearly suggests that the petitioner evaded trial. Thus, at this stage, I am not inclined. Dismiss.
Serial number 10, BA number 2538 of 22, Mr. Pratik Said for the petitioner.
Yes?
Looting of materials from the transformer and mobile phone. The recovery was made from Mohammed Gulzar. My name has transferred from the confession statement of Mohammed Sundar, and in last page, page 29, it directly suggests last few lines that it was recovery from Mohammed Sundar and my name. I have been implicated since on the basis of confession statement when I was present. The call details said that my mobile tower location was near the place. No recovery from my position, nothing has been recovered from my.
Yes, what is against this petitioner?
No, I don't have any case standing, but as per the accused order, it has been shown that it's a confessional statement of this petitioner's and data 114 of the case study suggests that the occurrence there's a tower locations of this petitioner's mobile number. He does a lie to check up at the place of incidence. As petitioner.
So if a person committing a crime comes to you with his mobile tower and your mobile tower will be in the same location.
Confessional statement is also there.
What is the evidentiary value of a confessional statement? What is the evidentiary value of a confessional statement? What is the evidentiary value of a confessional statement? Yes, tell me. I'm asking you.
It's a confessional statement.
What is the evidentiary value of a confessional statement? I am asking you. These are basics. These are basics. Without before wearing this gown, you should know this.
That one is 65 of section 25 of that.
Yes. So, any recovery? Heard the counsel for the petition, heard the counsel for the state. A mobile and
Materials from transformer.
and some materials from transformer were this is under section 392 were looted. Full stop. The next part, the petitioner is not named in the FIR. He has been made an accused in this case on the basis that the location of his mobile number and the location of the looted mobile. What is this 88? Whose number is this 88?
88 Ajay Kumar and 88 is the looted one. 88 is the looted one.
And the looted mobile was found in the close vicinity. Further, after the petitioner was arrested, he confessed his guilt. Full stop. Considering the material which has aforesaid material which surfaced during investigation and the fact that he is in custody since 27/12/2021, I am inclined to release this petitioner once a month before so and so. One of the bailiffs should be close relative.
Serial number 11, PA number 2540 of 22, Mr. Sivankar.
Yes, just a minute.
There are 6 defendants.
Which is not curable.
Serial number wanting at power
Not
and
necessary.
date of execution missing at Bakala.
Ignored. Yes, what is this?
Yes, that allegation is petition is that allegation and the petition is that petitioner files one anticipating the petition for this honorable. In that wakalat there was a stamp of the jail authority also. It was inquired by the honorable court, and then jail authority said, no, I have never signed this wakalat. I have never went stamp to this wakalat. And that wakalat was filed. This is the allegation.
Ordinarily, the document does not listen to the court proceeding.
But my lord, he was never been in jail. The petitioner was never in the jail custody also. So my submission is that
Who signed the wakalatnama?
petitioner signed. Signature of the petitioner was there.
Which were application?
ADA number 5620/2021.
So who was the petitioner?
Petitioner was
This person?
Yes.
Now, in an ABA, how would there be a counter signature of a jail authority?
That is the further
So in that ABA there was a signature of the jail authority.
Yes. That was inquired by them. Thereafter, how did you find that existed program?
List this case on
And order of
Discuss
again,
tomorrow.
page 22.
Yes, page 20.
22.
It's there.
Then the reports are not in. After finding of the report document, there is inquiry and
No, just tell me one thing. An anticipatory bail was filed.
Madam.
Now, is it your case that he has not signed? He has signed.
Madam.
But there was a signature of the subject, which could not have been.
Madam, anticipatory petition was filed, madam. Where the Wakalnama may not be there in the proof of the judge seal and signature, madam.
Why anticipatory bail was filed in relation to which offence?
This is Malika PS case number 79/120.
What happened to that?
307.
What happened to that? You were in bail.
No, in that also
They have to withdraw, madam.
he asked for Indian ABO withdraw here.
Now you have been remanded in that case?
Yes, madam.
You have moved bail.
That I have to take instruction.
Take instruction, you renew this after that. Because ultimately, even if I release you, you will not be out of the prison. Let this case when?
25 next after 5
On Tuesday before this court.
After holy madam.
On Tuesday?
on
On Tuesday before this court. What was the necessity of doing that? Would he have got any advantage with that? No.
There was no need of
So what was
there was no need to pause the document.
For this, my lord, they have
No, what was, I understand, but what was the necessity? What was the necessity, I want to know?
In this way, anybody can put forward the document and that.
What was the necessity? That is a different thing. I just want to know, what was the necessity? Yes, right, next.
Video number 12, DA number 2541 of 22, Mr. Arvind Prajapati.
Just a minute, Mr. Dubey.
But one of the considered the prosecution case is that informing.
Correct ST number mentioned there. What is the ST number?
They need to relate to the signature also. Signature and name of the petitioner. Muhammad
Samad Ali Muhammad.
Samad.
And it says that pending court para 1 and prayer may be verified, corrected, or ST number may be stated. The case has not been
Now, PS case number.
committed to the Court of Sessions.
Yeah.
14 cases you are involved in.
What is that statement?
Call for the antecedent report along with the case diary. The state will file an affidavit stating the number of cases which are pending against the petitioner and the stage and status thereof.
Video number 30, DA number 2542 of 22, Mr. Rakesh Kumar for the petitioner.
What was recovered from your possession?
Recovery from your PC, one certificate, digital and one mobile.
Custody since
14 years.
CD antecedent.
Serial number 40, DA number 2543 of 22, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Pandey. Honorable Mr. Justice, name may be stated properly. This is the article.
During the trial, informant and other person has
Just a minute. The defect 9(1) should be corrected, should be removed just now during course of the day. What is this? 302?
Yes, 30234.
Yes.
12% named in the FIR, but there is no direct specific allegation against anyone.
How many witnesses left?
6 witnesses have been examined. As per my information, there are 12. But none of the person has supported the case in department and another person has declared outside. The other of the
No, this is case under section 302.
Yes, sir.
Why BP number?
Which is there because
Why not sessions trial number?
session trial number, BP will reject that.
No, reject is on February 2022.
Ah,
We are in. When was the case?
2nd November 2021 Sunday.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Rejection is dated 11/2/2022. Okay? And your witness number 6 was examined in sessions trial in which is numbered as 2021. How can this be? How can this be? कैसे हो सकता है बताइए? How can that be? There has to be your bail has to be rejected in sessions, or it was a split up case. Was it a split up case?
2021 से FIR lodged on
Yes, it cannot.
13/6/2021.
Oh, this is a split up case.
But when the first witness has examined in this case was 22nd November 2021, and I am in custody from 2nd November 2021.
What is the stage? You tell me. Your case has been committed or not?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been committed or not? This direct specific allegation investigation is still continuing. That means charge sheet was not submitted against you. CD and stage of trial.
November 2021 से charge sheet नहीं किया होगा. November 2021 से.
CD and stage of trial.
PA number 15, PA number 2544 of 22, Mr. Kanti Kumar Ojha, auto petitioner. There are 9 people. The address of petitioner at page 1 and Wakala number differs. Minimum petitioners begging at page 1 and Wakala number differs from $15. Plus 7 other situations. Like custody date, order date, designation of pending court, UPS date and parent date, 2 types of rules.
Yes, what is this? Use this. So anticipatory bail rejected. So can that be a ground for rejecting the regular bail?
And we have taken money
He's taken money for
from the informant not to share its evidence in the complaint.
washing dismissed,
Yes.
and SLP also dismissed.
Disposed.
Disposed means that is dismissed. Can that be a ground for keeping the petitioner in custody? This is a complaint case or an FIR? Complaint supported by affidavit 2019. He has taken money.
Yes, from the very inception,
There was the intention to cheat.
After taking money, they have sold the property to another person.
appears on behalf of the petitioner? Call for the lower court records. Case diary.
Serial number 16, BA number 2546 of 22, Mr. Arun Kumar Pandey for the petitioner.
Case registered under the Arms Act. One live cartridge has been recovered.
Only live cartridge.
Live cartridge is in custody since 6th of September 2020.
6/9/21.
Yes, charge sheet.
Yes, one live cartridge. One live cartridge only was recovered from the possession of the petitioner, for which he is in custody since 6/9/2021. Considering the period of custody and the fact that charge sheet has already been submitted and only one live cartridge has been recovered from the possession of this petitioner, I am inclined to release.
Serial number 70, BA number 2547 of 22, Mr. Nidhi Kumar Singh for the petitioner.
Information that the creation of the informant is that on 2021, the informant got information from through WhatsApp that the body of his son is lying near the pond. And went there and with the help of police, brought the dead body, and he has suspected that this petitioner along with 3 persons had threatened the deceased to the talk lesson at the occasion of marriage of his brother. Only the suspicion has been raised, and during the investigation it was found that the wife of the deceased has illicit relation with Talib Sheikh, and Talib Sheikh was arrested, and he has made a personal statement that about the involvement of this person.
They were seen together. They were seen together. Just a minute, let him. He has not interrupted you. There is no eyewitness to the said occurrence. So far as the petitioner is concerned, he was a privy to the conspiracy. Take note. The petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence under section 6. Next paragraph. The FIR is on the basis of a written report of Mumtaz Ali, alleging that he came to know through WhatsApp message that the dead body of his son was lying near Kusmaha Pond. Full stop. It is alleged that Mosim Sheikh, M.O.S.I.M. Sheikh, that is this petitioner, and Chunnu Sheikh had earlier threatened the deceased of dire consequences in the occasion of a marriage ceremony of his brother. Next one. Counsel for the petitioner submits that there is no eyewitness to the said occurrence. He submits that just because the mobile phone of this petitioner was used by another accused person, this petitioner has been implicated in this case. He submits that the entire allegation is against the co-accused Tarif Sheikh. The APP opposes and submits that the petitioner was seen with the deceased prior to the time of occurrence. Full stop. After hearing the counsel for the parties and after going through the impugned order, I find that there is no eyewitness to the said occurrence. No one has seen the petitioner committing the offence of murder. Further, from the impugned order, I find that the court has found that the mobile of this petitioner was used by Tariq Sheikh, and some calls and 139 calls were made by the wife of the deceased to the said co-accused Tarif Sheikh. Further, the court found that since the mobile phone of the petitioner was used, the petitioner was privy to the conspiracy. This is the only material which surfaced during investigation, which is reflected in the impugned order. Full stop. Considering the nature of material which surfaced against the petitioner, I am inclined to release the petitioner on bail 10,000 shillings.
Serial number 80, DA number 2548 of 22, Mr. Fazul Rahman for the petitioner. Signature of advocate is required at the annexure 3 of the
Annexure?
type copy. Signature of advocate is required at the annexure 3 of type copy.
Ignored. Yes, Mr. Rahman. What is the statement of the girl?
But since I am going to 160 for power for state time of the case diary, if it were the latest.
Call for the case diary. They are looking. What is the age of the girl?
21 years.
21.
There's two girls. Yes, 415.
Will the case diary come? Case diary, along with the trial court, the court below is directed to forward a copy of the statement recorded under 164 CRPC of the victim.
Serial number 19, DA number 2549 of 22, Mr. Gaurav.
Forget about the defect. What is the material recovered from?
NCB team has been located near the Simdeva at PH0 and found that one truck was loaded with banana has been parked near the road, which is in a damaged condition. Truck was in a damaged condition. Thereafter, they verified the place of occurrence and found that one person is sitting behind the truck, who disclosed that he is the driver, the petitioner is the driver. Thereafter, he also disclosed that four other persons who were those were escorting the truck. They are staying in the hotel Amanlok Residency near the bus stand. Thereafter, NCT team went there and
So you are the driver.
I am the driver.
Stay for some time.
मेरा सोल्यूशन है, हम इसमें कंफेशन स्टेटमेंट भी लगाते हैं। गाड़ी 8 तारीख को रात को एक्सीडेंट हो गई वहीं पे, हमको चोट लगा, हम हॉस्पिटल गए, मेरा इलाज हुआ, हमको नॉलेज नहीं था, हम वही गाड़ी के बगल में ही बैठे रहते। 10 तारीख को हमको
Transporting 1050 kg of gaja, you will say that
उसमें बनाना भी लोकेट था, बनाना ही
that was for camouflaging. Digir, take down. Heard the counsel for the petitioner, heard the counsel for the state. A truck met with an accident, and the petitioner was arrested from the spot. Full stop. It is alleged that the truck was transporting 1050 kg of gaja in 105 packets, each weighing 10 kg. Full stop. The counsel for the petitioner suffices that the petitioner is merely a driver of the vehicle and has got no concern. Because he suffices that he has got no knowledge that gaja was being transported in the said truck. Rather, he knew that it was banana which was being transported.
So that means ganja has been packed on the nylon bag of the sack.
As some bananas were also being transported. Next paragraph. Considering the fact that 1050 kg of ganja was recovered from the truck which was being driven by the petitioner, I am not inclined to grant bail to the petitioner at this stage. Dismissed.
Serial number 20, DA number 2550 of 22, Mr. Sailesh Kumar Pandey. Yes, 70%. And DPS number has not been.
Yes.
As per the final lordship, so lordship permission may have read through relevant line of here.
Just read that.
Page number 20.
Yes.
3 line of photo. 10 बजे दिन ग्रुप सूचना मिली कि ग्राम बेंगोपुर टोला वाराणसी के पश्चिम गांव तथा ग्राम साहातू के प्रकाश कुमार गुप्ता के घर के अंदर प्लास्टिक के डिब्बा में एवं स्टील कैन में अवैध अफीम दूध गहाड़ा भूरा तरल पदार्थ काफी मात्रा में तथा इनके घर के अंदर प्लास्टिक के डिब्बा एवं स्टील के कैन में अफीम काफी मात्रा में तथा इनके घर के बगल में संतोष उरांव जगदीश उरांव श्यामलाल सिंह के घर में साथ ही इस घर में डोडा और गांजा काफी मात्रा में रखा हुआ है जो बाहर भेजने की तैयारी है. That is the information received by the police officer. And thereafter you have to see the page number 27. Last 6 line of the तत्पश्चात गुप्त सूचना के अनुसार छापामारी करते हुए समय करीब 15-20 बजे छापामारी दल के साथ ग्राम साहातू पहुंचे तथा गांव की घेराबंदी किया. इसी बीच एक व्यक्ति घर के पीछे की तरफ से चकमा देकर भागने लगे जिसे उपरोक्त बल के द्वारा काफी प्रयास करने के बाद भी नहीं पकड़ा जा सका. साथ ही छापामारी दल गए सह अपर निरीक्षक वीरेंद्र तिवारी के द्वारा उक्त भागते हुए व्यक्ति का पहचान श्यामलाल सिंह पिता स्वयं थाना स्वयं तत्पश्चात छापामारी दल के का उपरोक्त दोनों स्वतंत्र साक्षियों के समक्ष स्वयं तलाशी दिया. कोई संदेहजनक सामान बरामद नहीं हुआ. तत्पश्चात उपरोक्त पुलिस पार्टी एवं महिला पुलिस कर्मियों के द्वारा दोनों स्वतंत्र साक्षियों के समक्ष श्यामलाल सिंह के घर के विधिवत तलाशी ली गई. तलाशी के दौरान घर में रखे 2 प्लास्टिक का डिब्बा नंबर 1 लाल एवं उजला कलर का प्लास्टिक का डब्बा जिसमें 11 किलो अफीम एंड दूसरा ये लॉर्डशिप पीला रंग का प्लास्टिक का डिब्बा जिसमें 5 किलो अफीम एंड तीसरा ये लॉर्डशिप तथा पीला रंग का छींटदार रंगीन प्लास्टिक का बोरा में 10 किलो अफीम का छिलका जड़ टोटा. That was recovered from the position of the petition.
From your house?
My submission. Yes, Your Lordship. House of the petition. Now, Your Lordship, if Upper Sir Virendra Kumar Singh, Your Lordship, how he is know that the person was led.
Ask him in trial.
No, now Your Lordship.
Yes.
Now Your Lordship, kindly consider that he has not been arrested on the spot. After 1.5 years, he has come to the Gujarat. He has working provided the service of some Gujarat company. I have an ID proof of the some company also. I am just praying to 2 week time to file a supplementary affidavit. Why Your Lordship? Because on the date of offence, petitioner has been provided the services on
Okay.
to Gujarat.
Because the counsel for the petitioner submits that the petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence under section so and so. Learned counsel for the petitioner submits that on the time of occurrence he was in Gujarat and working, and he wants to produce some papers in support of the same. Full stop. In support of the same. Further, he submits that admittedly from the FIR at the time of occurrence he was not present, as in the FIR it has been mentioned that a person fled and that person was identified to be this petitioner by the police official. He questions that how a police official could identify the petitioner is not known. Full stop. Next paragraph. In this case, the police on an information raided the house of several person and found a person fleeing who was identified to be this petitioner. Full stop. Later on, his house was searched from where 11 kg in 2 packets, 11 kg and 5 kg, that is in total 16 kg of liquid opium was found. Further, in another bag 10 kg of poppy straw was found. Full stop. Next paragraph. Whether the petitioner was working in Gujarat or not, it is his alibi which he has to prove by cogent evidence during trial. Full stop. Be as it may, since from the house of this petitioner the huge quantity of liquid opium and poppy husk was recovered, I am not inclined to grant it to the petitioner. Dismissed.
Serial number 21, PA number 2551 of 22. Mr. Salesh Kumar Pandey, follow.
Yes. What is it? Yes. Yes. Same. Yes. What was recovered from your possession?
Only on the irrigation lordship कि हम उनसे 1 kg अभी purchase किए हैं, 3% का नाम लिया है.
The material was recovered from your possession?
No.
Yes or no?
He has sold opium.
Allegation.
Purchase?
No.
Call for the case diary. The
Lordship,
APB, yes.
इसमें 2 accused थे, बस similarly situated. उसके पास से भी allegation था कि 1 kg 3 आदमी से हम.
So far as NDPS is concerned,
and no criminal activity.
I will not look into the bail order of anyone.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Now call for the case diary. The APP will file an affidavit. The state will file an affidavit intimating this court as to whether the petitioner is involved in any other similar type of case or not.
Clear number 22, clear number 2552 or 22, Mr. Mukesh Kumar Banga for the petitioner.
Please, Your Lordship. It seems that I was registered under section 302 by
302?
Yes.
But later 306?
Subsequently converted into 306. Charges have been submitted by the police and this petitioner was arrested on 28.
This petitioner happens to be the husband.
Husband of the individual.
Call for the case diary and the post-mortem report.
Clear number 23, clear number 2553 or 22, Mr. Ankit Kumar for the petitioner.
In any case diary called for, or this is the first one? Case diary and the antecedent report.
Serial number 24, PN number 2555 or 22, Mr. Yogesh Modi for the petitioner.
FIR section 79 of the JJ Act, the allegation is that the 3 persons were apprehended on the allegation that they were taking 5 children for child labor.
Yes?
3 persons were apprehended from the bus stand on the allegation that they are taking 5 children to Surat for child labor. This was the allegation. Now, the statement of all the 5 children were recorded. उस समय तो नहीं था, मेरे पास अभी आया, ये बात नहीं आया है। कोई allegation नहीं है, not even a single allegation कि हम लोग लेके आए।
Call for the case diary along with the full stop. The statement of the 164.
हाँ वही था, 1911 का 164 statement निकाला था।
Where?
मेरे पास
Where?
इसमें
Show me page. Page number then.
Not in this page. लेकिन
The trial court is directed.
एक statement पढ़ते सबका वही statement।
The trial court is directed to forward the copy of the statement of the child recovered, the recovered child, and is recorded under section 164.
एक लोग पढ़ते हैं तो सबका वही statement है।
लगाया कहीं नहीं है. Why haven't you annexed it?
नहीं था, वो इसलिए।
So you should have filed a supplementary affidavit.
Serial number 25.
It will be listed. Don't worry. Yes.
Serial number 25, PN number 2556 or 22, Mr. Rakesh Kumar.
Husband. Cause of death. No one appears on behalf of the petitioner. Call for the case diary and the postmortem report. In the meantime, the defects should be removed.
Serial number 26, PN number 2558 or 22, Mr. Kripa Shankar for the petitioner.
Pass over, few cases. Few cases.
Serial number 27, PN number 2560 or 22, Mr. Anurag Kashyap for the petitioner.
Cultivation or possession?
Yes, no, it's illegal cultivation of opium.
Cultivation.
Yes, cultivation.
Call for the case diary. Full stop. The state will file an affidavit indicating as to whether the petitioner has got any criminal cases of similar nature against him or not.
There are 2 different versions. I think the committee 21 minutes was already.
Defects to be removed during course of the day.
Serial number 28, BN number 2561 of 22. Mr. K.S. Nanda.
Pass over. Pass over.
Serial number 29, BN number 2562 of 22. Mr. Mohammed Jain Ahmed, auto petitioner.
Yes?
Yes, may be registered part of FIR and include order deeper.
Mano Girda Ufi. Let us see. What is the FIR?
But you don't see the second page that is
Yes, Girda. Then? Mano. It's Bano. Where is Girda you are getting?
in field order.
Field order. What have you written in your first paragraph?
I said it's Bano. Bano is the object. Bano is
Mano Girda. Defect ignored. 302.
The FIR was lodged against one Babu Khan and three other unknown person. Name of petitioner transferred on the basis of conventional statement of this petitioner in relation to another case. And petitioner has been updated in Banu Girda with this case number 4121, in which he has made confession, and it is alleged that thereafter Sujit Kumar Ram has also died.
How many criminal cases are against you? 4. Call for the case diary.
Serial number 30, BN number 2563 of 22. Mr. K.S. Nanda.
392.
Yes, sir.
Not named.
Not named only on the basis of confession, and other person granted bail, but the order is not with me as
Not with you.
And
The name of one of the learned advocate is missing at the body of Bakalatama who has confessed the Bakalata. Petitioner name at Bakalatama will be unified with this paper.
Make necessary correction. As the spelling. Write alias name Asfaq. QE.
it goes to that.
Defects to be removed during course of the day. And the defect number. 1 and 2. 9, 1 and 2 to be removed during course of the day. Yes, what happened?
It has been released that one of the friend of the informant has taken his vehicle for personal use, and subsequently it has released that they must then he came and registered a FIR that has been located. So subsequently the informant has registered a FIR that he has misappropriated that and has
I couldn't understand what you were saying.
It has been FIR. It has been released in the FIR that one of the acquaintance he was taken his vehicle.
One of the acquaintance of the informant has taken the informant's vehicle.
Yes.
Then what happened?
Then he had come and registered, then come and informed, and then he did not return. And then the informant inquired and he stated that it had been located.
Then?
And then what only he made an inquiry and comes to know that he has misappropriated his vehicle and has sold the same.
So you are the person who had taken the vehicle?
No.
Then who are you?
Then subsequently it has been found that 4 persons have taken the vehicle and then they are doing their FIR and then they have sold it misappropriated after manufacturing the papers.
So who are you?
I came on the basis of confession.
So you are one of the person who have looted the vehicle?
Then we are the member of the gang.
You are the member of the gang?
Yes.
Who steal vehicles and
Yes.
sells the same. Yes, what is the material against him? How many cases are there against him?
No.
Case diary, State to file affidavit intimating as to whether there are any criminal cases against the petitioner or not. Full stop. If there are criminal cases pending against the petitioner, the details of the same should be provided in the affidavit.
Only about the criminal.
Criminal antecedents.
I have stated I have got no criminal.
Let them file. If you are a member of the gang, you must have some criminal antecedents.
And others have been granted.
Yes, next.
BA number 31, BA number 2564 of 22, Mr. Viraj Kumar, for the petitioner.
Victim is a major. Still traceless. Yes, diary.
BA number 32, BA number 2566 of 22, Mr. Vikas Kumar, for the petitioner.
Yes.
Immediately they were in the last relationship and they stayed for almost 4 months thereafter the case is closed. In a 164 statement, specifically she stated that she want to marry him. Financially the parent will also marry there.
She is a minor.
No, as per the medical report she is a major also. That is something like you must pay the money.
Where is the 164 statement?
And that is an issue put page 20.
Yes, annexure to page number 20. What is this 23? What is this 23?
Page number 23.
Yes.
That is an agreement between the parents.
What?
Agreement between the parents of the petitioner as well as the informant. That they are going to solemnize the marriage of the informant with the petitioner.
They will solemnize?
Yes.
When?
Once the petitioner is out of the legal.
No, petitioner will not be out.
He is renting vehicle. They are staying as a husband and wife also.
How can they stay as a husband and a wife? One is in jail and one is...
Previously for the last 2 months they are staying.
Stay there. No.
The petitioner is always renting vehicle.
Yes, yes. There's an allegation that
there's
an allegation that the petitioner has sexually exploited a minor girl aged about 17 years. Next one. Counsel for the petitioner submits that there was love affair and there's an agreement between the parents that the marriage will be solemnized. Also, next paragraph. After going through the record and the 164 statement of the girl, I find that she has alleged that about sexual assault. Further, she stated that she has become pregnant because of the assault. Considering the aforesaid fact, at this stage I am not inclined to grant bail to the petitioner. The petitioner may renew his prayer after examination of the victim during trial.
BA number 33, BA number 2567 of 22, Mr. Sashikant Thakur, for the petitioner.
Yes. Yes. Let the case diary come. Yes, what is there?
उनके निशान पे पर कभी हुआ खून लगा हुआ खून से सना हुआ और पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में भी आया है कि BPS है.
Yes, on your pointing out the murder weapon was recovered. What was recovered? This is PM. What is the recovery? Caesar? Syrian? No, no. On how do you say that on his confession? Vice 22. Let's see. 22. No. Together. For the counsel for the petitioner, for the counsel for the state. The petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence punishable under section so and so. Full stop. The counsel for the petitioner, next paragraph. Counsel for the petitioner submits that there was no eyewitness to the occurrence of murder. He submits that only on the basis of confessional statement the petitioner has been made an accused. Full stop. Next paragraph. The APP opposes the prayer and submits that on the pointing out of the petitioner and other co-accused, the dead body was recovered, which is evident from paragraph 22 of the case diary. Full stop. He produces the case diary. Full stop. From paragraph 22, I find that on pointing out by the petitioner and two others, the dead body was recovered. Full stop. There is an allegation that this petitioner and others have committed murder of the deceased. Full stop. Though there is no eyewitness, yet in view of the recovery of the dead body on the pointing out of this petitioner and two others, I am not inclined to release the petitioner and be dismissed.
Serial number 34, serial number 2568 of 22. Mr. Vijay Kumar Roy.
First of after the as we found today information is going to be examined.
Withdraw कर लीजिए.
ये compromise
Compromise.
Yes, we will
Huh?
आज
Case under 376.
Yes. As
Compromise.
She is elder, Lord, and both were working in same place, Lord.
Withdraw this.
And the
I am
allegation.
dismissing it.
इसको आज हो रहा है क्या? Family submission before the Lord. Today is going to be examined.
Then after the victim, how many will be left? How many will be left? After examination of the informant, how many witnesses will be left?
Main informant is going to be.
Let's see the FIR. It's a complaint. Complaint or FIR?
FIR. She is elder than this
So,
both was working in a place, and there was love and since long ago.
How long?
About 2 years. 2 years. 3 years. And when some dispute we are looking for, then this I was job. That's supposed to be an age 26, and both was working in same place.
Yes.
Several times committed rape among 15.
This continued since 1.5 years. She has never complained at any point of time. For the counsel for the petitioner, or the counsel for the state. The petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence punishable under section so and so. Next paragraph. From the FIR, I find that the informant stated that she knew this petitioner, and 1.5 years prior to lodging of the FIR, for the first time, by administering some medicine in her drinks, this petitioner has raped the victim, full stop. Surprisingly, the victim did not complain about the said incident. Full stop. It is stated that thereafter, the petitioner blackmailed the informant and continuously established physical relationship. Full stop. Next para. The victim is aged about 32 years. What is the age of this petitioner? Whereas the petitioner, how do you say so?
I am retaining the age of the petitioner in question.
2 years. 2 years. Further from the FIR, since I find that the first occurrence had taken place 1.5 years and no complaint was made, and thereafter also on several occasions the incident of sexual assault had taken place, but without any complaint being raised at that point of time, I am inclined to release this petitioner on bail 10,000 to rupees.
Serial number 35, PA number 2569 of 32. Mr. Mahesh Tiwari, for the petitioner.
Yes. Bolero was stolen. Recovered from?
I had personally, your lordship can please just have a look through the name of the petitioner crossed with the confessional statement of Raju. And
Raju purchased it.
Yes, and thereafter he sold.
And you are the subsequent purchaser. The petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence punishable under section so and so. Full stop. A Bolero vehicle of the informant was stolen. Full stop. Next paragraph. During investigation, it was found that one Muhammad Raju purchased the said vehicle for rupees 1 lakh, and thereafter it was again sold to this petitioner, who was the subsequent purchaser. Full stop. Considering the aforesaid fact and the fact that the petitioner is in custody since 10/1/2022, I am inclined to release the petitioner on bail 10,000 to rupees. When was this case bail registered, Mr. Tiwari? 7th of March.
Yes.
And today's?
No, 25.
No, it was filed on 28/2, and then there was a defect. 7th March registered as. Today's 9th. 10th. Yes.
Serial number 36, PA number 2571 of 22. Mr. Salesh Kumar Pandey.
Yes, Mr. Pandey, what is it?
The property is not named in the operation has been registered in 07-452.
You are not named then?
Then my name is transferred other to accused Saurabh Misa. He has been already been granted bail. I am to bail order.
Yes, any recovery?
No,
The petitioner is an accused for allegedly committing an offence punishable under section so and so. It is alleged that two persons, namely Nitesh Nishab and Saurabh Nishab, entered the house of the informant with a firearm, and thereafter Nitesh Nishab shot at Bifa Devi, that is the mother of the informant, who sustained severe injury. Next part. The petitioner admittedly is not named in the FIR. Nothing has been recovered from the possession of this petitioner. Full stop. Considering the aforesaid fact, I am inclined to release the petitioner 10,000 securities once a month before the trial court, before the court concerned. Yes.
Under the heading fresh filing, serial number 37, PA number 2539 of 22. Mr. Arvind Kumar Chaudhary,
CD.
for the petitioner.
City antecedent.
The mobile personal mobile.
One mobile is enough. One mobile is enough to commit this crime.
But it is personal, nothing else.
No.
Serial number 38, PA number 2545 of 22. Mr. Anurag Kashyap, for the petitioner.
Still, there's a direct allegation against the petitioner of committing rape upon a lady aged about 70 years. Considering the direct allegation, I am not including.
Serial number 39, PA number 2557 of 22, Mr. Rahul Pandey for the petitioner.
My notice is case under section 424.4 of IPC along with the section 47A of excise.
What were you doing?
Lordship, both these petitioners are driver and cleaner of the vehicle in which the illegal continued wine was supplied to.
It was being transported to where? Bihar?
No such allegation.
Then?
Lordship, रांची जा रहे हैं.
रांची जा रहे कहाँ से?
ये जो इनका कहना है कि शकुंतला जायसवाल के लाइसेंसी कंपोजिट शराब दुकान खूटी से.
Yes.
I have stated in my bail application, Lordship, that
Custody since when?
Lordship, I am in custody since 8th of January 2020. Charge sheet has been submitted.
Petitioners are the driver. You both are the driver.
Driver and cleaner.
Petitioner are the driver and cleaner of pickup van bearing registration number J801 EH8042. So it is alleged that the petitioners, it is alleged that by the said van, 100 cartons of country-made liquor was being transported. That's the next paragraph. Considering the fact that the petitioner was a driver, petitioners are driver and cleaner, and is in custody since 8/1/2022, and charge sheet has already been filed, I am inclined to release this petitioner.
Serial number 40, PA number 2559 of 22, Mr. Rahul Pandey for the petitioner.
My lord, it is a matter under section 307 of IPC. There are grievous injuries over the victim informant, Lordship. But there is no other eyewitness, Lordship, and he is in custody, Lordship.
Direct allegation against.
Direct allegation.
There's a direct allegation against the petitioner.
No independent witness.
There's a direct allegation against the petitioner of attacking the informant. Attacking the victim with a knife. Full stop. The counsel for the petitioner submits that there are no eyewitness to the said occurrence, and he is in custody in connection with, since
30 of December 2021. Lordship, weapon has also not recovered.
He submits that the weapon has also not been recovered. So from the FIR and the impugned order, I find that there is a direct allegation against the petitioner of brutally assaulting the victim, Birju Ora, by knife, and thereby his intestine was badly damaged. The injuries are so and so. Quote kar dijiyega. Page 13. Considering the nature of injury and the direct allegation, at this stage I am not inclined to grant bail. Pass over.
Pass over matter. Serial number 4, PA number 2531 of 22.
Same.
Good.
The petitioner is accused for allegedly committing an offence punishable under section 7. The case was lodged by the informant in relation to the murder of his brother against accused Rakesh Kumar Singh and other truck drivers, with the allegation that his brother had gone by truck number BR53G 8616, and the truck was in which he was the driver, and Sudhir Sada, SUDHIR SADA, was a cleaner of the same truck. The informant came to know that his brother is dead. The informant further came to know from the cleaner that on Rakesh Kumar Singh, the driver of truck number BR 09GA 8661 had taken his brother along with him, but his brother did not return. On the basis of the aforesaid suspicion, the case was instituted. Next paragraph. The learned counsel for the petitioner submits. You are named? The petitioner is not named in the FIR. Only on the basis of confessional statement of co-accused the petitioner has been made and accused in this case. He submits that there is no eyewitness to the occurrence of murder. He further submits that exactly similarly situated co-accused Gautam Ravidas has been granted bail by a coordinate bench of this court. Next paragraph. Counsel appearing on behalf of the state opposes the prayer, but after going through the bail order of the co-accused, submitted that the case of the petitioner stands on a similar footing. Next paragraph. Considering the fact that the case of the petitioner stands on a similar footing to that of Gautam Ravidas, who has been granted bail by a coordinate bench of this court, and the fact that the petitioner is not named in the FIR and no one has seen the petitioner committing murder, I am inclined to release the petitioner on bail 10,000 shillings.
Video number 26, DA number 2558 of 22, Mr. K.S. Nanda, former petitioner.
Informant and his brother had gone to the market to purchase it. In the meantime, two miscreants have entered the market and have committed murder of the brother.
Case diary.
Other accused have been granted bail and only on the basis of confession.
Let the case diary come.
Serial number 28, DA number 2561 of 22, Mr. K.S. Nanda. Execution of petitioner differs from his name at Babalakama. Name is Gangadhar and signed as he has done signed with
Ganga Beta. Make the correction in course of the day in respect of the execution of Wakalatnama. Petition is directed to make necessary corrections in the Wakalatnama. Yes, what have you done?
Co-accused Amsalam Dumdum and this petitioner entered into an agreement with the informant to sell a piece of land on a 60,000 per acre and another agreement with Adivasi land, which was a ST land. Subsequently, after taking 1,50,000, he has registered the land.
9,65,000 you have taken.
No, my lord, I have 1,50,000. Subsequently, it has been alleged that it was claimed and I am not taken. And other persons.
So 8 other persons, total 9,65,000.
There is agreement with another persons also. Amsalam Dumdum is the owner of the land, has entered into an agreement with other persons.
Yes.
Total
From the informant, how much it has been?
1,50,000.
1,50,000. So, what was the informant doing? He didn't verify the nature of the land. There is an allegation against the petitioner that fraudulently the petitioner has sold the land belonging to scheduled castes and scheduled tribe, which is non-transferable, to the complainant, informant. First up, the counsel for the petitioner submits that the petitioner is in custody since 12/21 and charge sheet submitted.
Yes.
And charge sheet has already been submitted. He submits that it was the duty of the purchaser to verify the ownership of the land. Also, it was also the duty of the informant to verify the ownership of the land. The APP opposes and submits that the petitioner has cheated the informant to the tune of rupees 1,50,000. Next part. Considering the nature of allegation and the fact that the petitioner is in custody since 12/12/21 and charge sheet has already been submitted, I am inclined to release the petitioner.
Please,